So in my last video about Slovenia, we learned a lot about some really great things about the country. But it's far from over because this country is just downright cool to learn about. Of course, it's one of those countries that you may not hear from a lot, but in my mind, it is considered a hidden gem. And today, we are going to learn as much as we can about the great nation of Slovenia. How's it going, everybody? What's going on? Dave Walpole here, and welcome to FTD Facts, the channel where I look at people, cultures, and places from all around the world, and I'm really excited to learn more about Slovenia. Why? Because our last video did really well. We had a lot of people who were from Slovenia that were like, oh my god, thank you so much for talking about my country. So we're gonna go back and learn more than we did in the last one. And also for this video, I might just expand on some other facts of the country. And by the way, if you missed it, just letting you know, I've made a nice little playlist that you can watch the first episode. I will put it into the cards in this video, and it's going to be adding to our Slovenia playlist, which there will be more videos in the future. So check that out at any time. But before you do that, let's get into the facts about Slovenia part 2. So, first things first, have you ever heard of a Lipizan horse? Waiting for it, waiting for it. Yes, no, maybe so. Let me know down there in the comments section below if you know of it. If you're from Slovenia, you probably already know about it, but the people in the other parts of the world are probably like, what is a Lipizan horse? Basically, a Lipizan or Lipizaner horse is the world-famous horse that comes from only Slovenia. You didn't see that coming, did you? That's right, Slovenia has its own original horse. Giddy up. As a matter of fact, this fact is kind of two facts in one, and I'll explain why. The reason is because this breed originated and came from a farm. And what I mean by that, I mean it was created in a farm. It was not just a wild horse that is found only in Slovenia. No. This is known as the Lipica Stud Farm, and it is located in Lipica, Slovenia. And this is where you get that second fact in one, because this is the oldest stud farm that is in continuous operation today. What is wrong with me today? Continuing? That doesn't even make any sense. Continuous. Here on FTD Facts, I don't get my words all right completely, but I like sometimes leaving them in because you guys get a good laugh. As a matter of fact, this farm has been around since 1580. And a side note, when it comes to the Lipizan breed, they've been endangered numerous times in history. Yeah, that's right. And they were created by the House of Habsburg, which was a long time ago, by breeding the Arab, Barb, Spanish, and Napoleon breeds all together. That was like an orgy of horses and breeds right there. So Slovenia is also a really beautiful country. It's got a lot of pretty things to look at. It's a naturally beautiful country. And as a matter of fact, because of that, Slovenia has one image, and that is of Lake Bled. As a matter of fact, I think I used the image in the thumbnail last episode, but either way, we're talking about it in this one. Oh wait, maybe that's because I also talked about it in the last episode, but either way, I'm expanding on it. Because in the center of Lake Bled is a very beautiful historic church that is known pretty much by everyone. The church itself may be very old, but there's even remnants of an old church that dated back to 1142 AD. The new church, however, was built and consecrated in 1465. And there's even evidence of people existing in the region of Lake Bled as far back as the 11th century BC. However, the one thing that is really interesting about this is it is a major tourist attraction, especially for people who want to get married. Which I don't know why people do this, because, you know, you gotta carry your bride up 99 steps. Oh, God. Yeah, that's a lot of work. Listen, guys, I know you should love your woman and everything, but I don't go to the gym. These arms, they're for gaming, not for lifting. Or reading, whatever. Either way, this is a big custom where you bring your bride up these steps. And if you believe in any form of folklore, they say the Slavic goddess of fertility known as Ziva also got married at that church. So you're getting married where goddesses are getting married. That is cool. Also, Lake Bled has been the host for the World Rowing Competition in 1966, 79, 89, and even the year 2011. So in my last video, I mentioned a lot about Mount Triglav and, more importantly, the caves of Slovenia and how they contribute a lot to tourism and how popular they are. But to expand more on tourism, Slovenia is becoming a very, very popular country for Europeans to travel to. As a matter of fact, in 2014, they had approximately 2,410,824 tourists, whereas in 2017 it's jumped up to 3,006,969 people. And one major beautiful thing that I want to talk about that a lot of people like is the Soka River. This is what you call an alpine river, and it is very well known that even Disney has shot there for the Chronicles of Narnia Prince Caspian. But did you know that the river is sometimes famously called the Emerald Beauty? This is because the water pretty much gives off a green emerald sort of look, and everybody likes it. It's also been famously mentioned in many poets from Italy and even Slovenia's famous poet, Simon Gregoric. But although it might be very beautiful during World War I, it was unfortunately the host of 12 different battles. These were known as the 12 Battles of Isonzo, which over 300,000 soldiers from the Austro-Hungarian Empire and Italy had lost their lives. That's the thing. Sometimes things that are so beautiful come with a lot of death. It's truth. Now, in my last video, I also talked a lot about the Sokyan caves. But however, for this video, I'm going to expand a little bit more on the cave system because it's a very important thing within Slovenia. Because in that last video, I also mentioned that the country has the highest amount of sinkholes out of any country in the world. But that also means that it has the highest amount of caves of any country in the world. At least that is what Slovenia is claiming. It's really kind of hard to determine whether or not that fact is true or not. That being said, in the last official report in 2011, it was stated that the country had 10,250 caves, and they even believe that there is a lot more than that. Now, as for the longest cave system within the country, well, that is also kind of disputed, because theoretically the longest is the Migovic system that comes in at 137,000 feet long. But however, that is classified as a cave system, which I'm assuming is a bunch of other caves all connected into one. That would be my guess. I don't know anything about caves, guys. I'm just guessing. But however, the longest individual cave is the Pistonia cave, coming in at 79,130 feet. And it's not just long, it's also been a very historically important cave to the rest of the world. The Pistonia cave became a tourist attraction in 1819 and was described as far back as the 17th century. However, there are some writings in the rock that date back to approximately 1213 AD, and in today's world, it's one of the highest tourist attractions in the entire country. But however, in the 90s, this cave was so popular, they had like at least 1 million people coming every single year for a couple of years to see the caves. It was really cool. But talking about its history, it was also the first cave to have the first underground train system in the entire world. That's at least what they claim, but then again, it's backed up by some pretty on-point documents. This is because this train was set up on June 6th, 1872, and even by 1923, it was completely gas-operated. Also, this was the first cave in the country, if not the first cave in the entire world, to have electric lighting inside of it. This happened in 1884, and even the capital of Ljubljana didn't get public lighting until 1898. And even during World War II, when the Germans occupied the region, they put at least 1,000 barrels of airplane fuel inside of it. Near the end of the war in 1944, the Slovenian rebellion actually destroyed the cave and set fire to this fuel, and apparently it burned for like 7 days. Yeah, that's crazy. That all aside, though, one thing that Slovenia is known for is biodiversity. What do I mean by that? I mean just it's got a lot of organisms within the country. Simply because although the land size is very small, being only 0.004% of the whole Earth, it makes up approximately 1% of all the living organisms on the entire planet. I'm not really sure about that one, but then again, Slovenia has many different climates, from Arctic to warm to forest. And with that, they have approximately 1,264,000 hectares of forest, which makes up 62% of the country. So theoretically, I guess, based off of that, yeah, I could buy that it's got a lot of biodiversity. And last but not least, this is one of my favorite ones. In my last video, I did talk about how the Triglav National Park is part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site program, and Slovenia actually has 2 UNESCO zones. But not necessarily, because they got 2 more on the potential list. And the one that I want to focus on is the prehistoric pile dwellings around the Alps. Although located in many regions around Europe from Switzerland to Italy, with a total of 111 of them being officially recognized, with at least 1,000 of them out there, 2 of them from the official list are located in Slovenia. And what makes these 2 ones very fascinating is they show how far this culture actually spread, because these 2 are the farthest away in terms of range and distance from where the rest of the major hub of them are. And these piles date back to anywhere between 5,000 to 500 BC. So there you have it, guys. That is me looking at Slovenia yet again. Just a beautiful country. I love learning about different places, peoples, and cultures, and I hope you guys really like learning about this. And by the way, if we get to a part 3, be sure to let me know some facts that I didn't put in down there in the comments section below. Also, feel free to recommend some other videos around Slovenia or around anything that you guys just want to, learn about. With that being said, just an FYI, if you missed the first episode or you want to learn more about Slovenia, I've done a nice little Slovenia playlist where you guys can learn more about this great, amazing country. It's right, I guess, in the description box below. It's also in the cards show this video whenever they appear, and it'll be at the end so you guys can check it out. But other than that, guys, my name is Dave Wapple. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see all you players in the next video. And by the way, if you guys feel like it and you want to reach out to me personally, don't feel afraid. You can hit me up on Instagram. I'm down there in the description box below. So I'll see you guys later. Alright, so you guys made it to the end of the video without passing out. You're doing better than most. Congrats. Well, thanks for watching. Feel free to check out the playlist right here. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because we love having you guys with us. And of course, just have yourself a good day and I'll see you later. Bye!